Okay. Hello! So in this video I am going to be talking about my top 5 worst Doctor Who episodes. Yes, in my opinion. Brackets. Yeah, I've had to cut it down to 5. It was very difficult for me. But yeah. Bring on the hate. So, number 5, yes, number 5. Oh god. My 5th hated episode of Doctor Who, my 5th worst Doctor Who episode, oh god. This is tricky. I actually, before I even started filming, I was like, oh god, what is my 5th? I'm gonna have to say Paradise Towers. And for people who don't know, that is, funny enough, it's a Sylvester McCoy story. And we all know how loyal to his Doctor I am. But yeah, that is probably the worst story in his era. Because it is pretty shite. I mean, the acting, the story, the plot, the characters, I hate the whole thing. I actually think my brain was actually melting when I was watching it. I wanted to tear my hair apart because it was just so difficult to watch, and I kept on telling myself I've got to watch the end, so I could just go around and say that I've seen it, and it's the most biggest mistake I'd ever made because it was awful, really, really bad, and God, there's just no words to describe it. I mean, I can't even remember it that well because I've literally just erased it from my memory. But you know, you've got the red cans, the blue cans. It was just, they were all annoying. And then you had this really wimpy panto type character who then becomes a hero at the end. God, it was horrible. It was like really bad. I mean, I can kind of see why the ratings were going down because it is quite horrific. But oh god, camera's a bit weird there. But God help me, it was just, oh, yeah, that's my 5th, and it's actually a classic story. So, but don't worry, there are new series stories coming up. My 4th. Okay, number 4. Oh my god. Number 4. I'm gonna put. No, I'm not gonna put that. I'd probably then go for. I'm gonna say Twin Dilemma. I mean, compared to what other ones are gonna come up are a lot worse. Yeah, Twin Dilemma, Colin Baker's first Doctor Who story. It is awful. I absolutely hate this story to God's earth. I don't really have to describe why. I mean, the 6th Doctor, he's just unlikable. You actually hate him. You don't like him whatsoever. And the characters are just really boring. And the story is just really boring. You've just got... That's the issue I've got with it. It's just boring and not interesting. You actually don't care what's going to happen next. You're like, oh, when did this end? It's just, I don't like it. That's why I've had to put it here, because it's just a really bad story compared to other 6th Doctor stories there's been. But this is awful, and this is kind of why the 6th Doctor is underrated, because of this crap that was meant to be his post-regeneration story. Number 3 has got to be, oh god, it's got to be The End of Time. I'm sorry, but it's got to go there because it's a disgraceful episode, and I've already gone through why I hate it, so I don't have to really go through it all again. But it's, for me, it's just one of my most hated Doctor Who stories of all time, because it just doesn't do it for me. it angers me, it upsets me as well, because, just forget it. Oh, now we're getting close. Number 2. Number 2. I'm gonna say, oh god, what is it? Tricky, because there are a lot of hated episodes, but I can't really. I've got to think of one that's actually gonna make number 2. Oh yeah, it's got to be. I'm sorry, but this has just got to be there. It has to be Closing Time, because I hate that guts of that story. It's not only the worst Cyberman story to ever be made, it is probably the worst thing that I have seen ever. It's just, oh, I mean, don't get me wrong, I liked Craig. I thought Craig was a great, but in this, he was, I don't know what was going on. It was just awful. The Doctor was annoying. I mean, the plot was annoying. The Cybermen were just pointless. It felt like a gap filler, if you get what I mean. You know, you've got a series, and then you've got that one episode just before the finale. It felt like it was just filling in the gap, and it was really out of place. And don't get me wrong, I thought, where is it? These guys came back, so that was a positive, but defeating the Cybermen with love. Ugh. No, enough of that crap. I mean, God, we didn't have, like, all the other stories. I mean, we didn't have, like, I know I'm being quite picky here, but we didn't have, like, Patrick Troughton saying, oh, yes, Jamie, I've defeated Cybermen with love. It's just, that was a really bad Patrick Troughton impression, but no, he did not do that. Ugh. God. And my most hated Doctor Who story of all time has got to be The Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe. Because, my God, it is... I actually refuse to watch it. It is just the most horrible piece of shite I have ever seen in my life. It's just... every time it's on, I will literally look at it and it will kill my eyes. It feels like I want to tear my skin apart and really badly kick something until my foot literally just bleeds, because I just cannot watch it. It is that painful. It feels like your brain has got like a massive stick being statched across, and it makes you feel like your head is on fire. Ugh. It's even worse than Series 6, and that's saying a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong, the series was bad, but this, oh no, this was beyond awful. But on a positive note, I liked the ending. That was quite nice. But this is definitely the most hated Doctor Who story of all time. I actually hate it to my guts. And if it ever comes on, I will leave the room. Like yesterday with my girlfriend, she was going to put Series 6 on, and I actually left the room because I'm not watching it. That's just how it is. But yeah. That's my top 5 most hated Doctor Who stories. They're my worst Doctor Who stories, so please do comment below yours, and goodbye.